Welcome to Therapeutic Yoga today. Today's class is entirely focusing on our shoulder joints. So for class today, before I kind of dive in a little tiny bit of anatomy, for class today, you're wanting to start in sitting. So that can be either in a chair or on your yoga bolster. You will need some sort of hand towel to begin in sitting. But one other thing you will need outside of your yoga mat is some sort of ball. And so tennis balls work great. Outside of tennis balls, the other type of ball that I encourage people to use is a massage ball. Now, a lot of people don't have massage balls at home, but for the shoulder joints and around the shoulder area, the size of massage ball that really is the best is one that is approximately 2.5 to 3 inches in size. So if you're using a large massage ball, it would probably be too big. Little tiny massage balls, like racket balls, if you have any extra soft tissue or fat, it might get a little bit lost in that. So a really tiny ball isn't going to work as well. So something like this is really the perfect size. Now, a wool dryer ball is also the exact same size. I also like to use it sometimes. For today, I am actually going to use the wool dryer ball while we do our self-mobilizations on the mat, because I think you'll just see it better on my body and you'll know where to put yours at home. Very nice. Okay, so to begin class, what I'd like you to do is start in a sitting position where you're not using the back of the chair. If you're on your yoga bolster, just a simple tailor sitting will do. In that position, just kind of rock and roll your pelvis a couple of times. And then once you're there, just settle your pelvis in that position and just sit up nice and tall for me for a second. Now, when we think about our shoulders, really our shoulders are a combination, believe it or not, of 4 different joints. So you've got the joints that are right here that join your collarbone to your sternum, or the middle bone. Actually, it's your manubrium, but it's the middle bone of your chest. And that collarbone comes out and it connects to your shoulder blade, the back of you. It connects to your shoulder blade right here, and that's called your acromioclavicular joint. And then you have your shoulder blade, which is the big muscle, the big bones that sit and kind of lay on your rib cage. And finally, the one that we're going to primarily focus on today is what's called your glenohumeral joint, or it is the ball and the socket that sits in your shoulder where most of us think of our shoulder. When we think of that ball and socket, the reason that shoulders oftentimes get sore or painful from overuse or muscle imbalance or even trauma is because the socket is really shallow. So unlike our hip joints that have a really deep socket that our ball sits in, our shoulder joints have a very shallow socket. And so what happens a lot of times is literally the ball of your ball and socket can sometimes get a little bit misguided as to where the center is. And so what we're going to do today is work on some activities that are going to kind of help get that ball a little bit where it needs to be. And then if there is inflammation in that glenohumeral joint, it will calm it down. So that's our focus for today's class. So find yourself nice and tall, just gently to begin with today. Just bring your shoulder blades back and down. Let your elbows settle by your side. Have your towel nearby and just rest your palms down on your thighs. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin into your throat, and then take your tongue and rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth so that the tip is just touching the back of the top teeth. Very nice. Now just close your eyes. So in this position, we're not going to be really focusing on pain today. So in classes before, I've talked about when you're kind of being mindful about pain, you have 2 options. You can go and distract your mind away from the pain, or you can dive into the pain. Well, we're not going to be diving into the pain today. Today, we're going to use the idea of going away from it. And so find yourself in this nice tall seated position. Please make sure that you've got weight in your feet so you can't pick your legs up very easily. And if you've got a shoulder that's maybe not so comfortable, what I want you to do is actually think about the other shoulder. Now, if you're at home and you don't have any shoulders that hurt, that's okay too. That's actually great. what I want you to do is just pick a shoulder and focus on it. As you're focusing on the non-painful shoulder, what I want you to do is take a deep inhale into your nose and feel as your chest expands and where that ball and socket goes. And then as you exhale, feel where that ball and socket goes. Deep inhale in, and then exhaling out. One more time, deep inhaling in, and exhaling out. Now, what you should have felt observing one of your shoulders is as if I am the ball and socket. As you take that deep inhale in, it's almost like it kind of falls backward and goes downward. And as you exhale out, it's almost like it comes forward and relaxes a little bit. Now let's focus on maybe the painful shoulder. If you don't have a painful shoulder, just take an opportunity to look at your other shoulder. Oftentimes with breath, our shoulder loses that normal movement. And what will happen if we have a painful shoulder is when we deep inhale in, instead of the shoulder kind of going back and down, it will actually come up with us. So I want you to focus on that and be intentional about not letting it do what it shouldn't do, which is come up and forward. So nice and tall, feet on the floor. Have your spine nice and long, shoulder blades back and down, length of the neck, settle the chin, tongue to the roof. Close your eyes for a second. Now focus on the other shoulder, or maybe if you're at home with a painful shoulder, your painful shoulder. Now take that deep inhale in. Where does that shoulder go? And then as you exhale out, does it gently relax forward? Now really focus on the inhale in. Maybe allow it to encourage it to bring it that back and down that it should go. And then slowly exhaling it out and letting it relax. Let's do 2 more breaths. Nice deep inhaling in. And exhaling out. And inhaling in. And exhaling out. Opening your eyes. Could you tell a difference in the shoulder that maybe isn't so good for you? If so, just focusing on trying to get that shoulder and that breath to match sometimes can diminish your pain. All right, now we're going to start with some self-massage today. So what I want you to do is we're going to start with the right arm first. We're going to go to the left arm second. So take your left hand and grab your right arm. So feel where you've got muscle, big muscles, right, on the upper part of your arm. Also feel how you can just twist those muscles around the bone of your arm. Oftentimes when we have any sort of shoulder pain, those muscles sort of get hardened in a certain direction. So we're going to massage the muscles off of the bone. So here's what I want you to begin with. Take your arm and just kind of hold your right arm like it's holding a tray. In that position, take the muscles of your arm and turn them all the way outward, and then take the arm and turn it outward as well. Now keep the muscles turned outward, but start to turn the bone inward. You'll start to feel almost some burning that's happening as you loosen the muscle from the bone. How far can you go and stretch those muscles? Hold yourself there. Take a deep inhale in. And then exhale out. Let's do 1 more breath. Nice deep inhale in and exhale out. Derotate the arm and relax the muscles. Now take the hand and pull the muscles now all inward and bring the hand and arm all the way inward. Keep the muscles turned inward And now try to turn the bone outward. How far can you go? Don't be surprised if you can't go very far, because a lot of us have forward shoulders. How far can you go? Feel that burning as you're pulling the muscle away from the bone. Stay with that burning. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. Exhaling out. And again, nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Very nice. Now let's switch to the opposite side. So resting the left arm down, take the right hand this time, grab a hold of the meat, grab a hold of the muscles of the shoulder and the arm. Start with coming to the front of it and turning the muscles outward. It's like you're twisting a towel almost, right? And then rotate the arm out and twist the muscles even more. Keep the muscles twisted outward and then start to turn the arm inward. How far can you go? Feel that burning as you're pulling and playing those muscles off of that bone. Hold it here and take a nice deep inhale and exhale. One more breath. Nice deep inhale and exhale. De-rotate the bone and relax the muscles. Now take the hand to the outside of it and bring the arm in and really pull all those muscles inward. Now start to rotate the bone outward. Where is that burn and can you get further? Find that point of burn and then deep inhale inward. Keep trying to pull the bone as you pull the muscle as you're twisting it off. Exhaling out. And one more time, nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. And then relaxing the arm and relaxing the muscles. You know, sometimes if what causes our shoulder pain is something as simple as we bumped our shoulder, bruised our shoulder, that blood can sometimes get stuck between all those muscles. And the simple thing that we just did, believe it or not, can alleviate the issues that you might be having in the shoulder. Because sometimes the bone and the muscles, they just don't like to play well together. All right, now let's do something to work on that ball and socket. So remember I said it's a ball in a shallow socket. What we want to do is try to stretch the ball away from the socket. And that's where our towel comes in place. So grab your towel and take your towel, your hand towel, fold it in half, fold it in quarters, and then roll your hand towel so that your hand towel is somewhere around 3 to 4 inches in diameter. Then take your hand towel into your armpit. Now, can you see in this position, if this is my ball and socket, if I start to pull on my elbow and I pull my elbow inward, it's actually going to stretch my ball from my socket. So if I've got some swelling and some stiffness and some blood or whatever might be happening in our ball and socket, sometimes just giving it that little bit of oscillation and movement will help really alleviate shoulder pain. So make sure that that towel is nice and high up in that armpit. You do have a nerve in your armpit called your brachial plexus. So sometimes when you do this exercise, you can kind of make a little tingling happen in your arm. One way to prevent that is just to make sure that your arm is not turned all the way inward, but actually to turn your arm a little bit outward so the nerve is hopefully not in contact with the towel. Sit up nice and tall. Take your other hand and grab your elbow on that right side. Now in this position, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, try to pull, literally pull the elbow into the side of your body. Make sure you don't side bend, so keep yourself nice and tall on the right. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, pull that elbow into the side of your body. Now, let's play with the suction of our ball and socket. Can you push your elbow out into your hand? And then as you exhale, let it go and maybe pull it in further. Inhale, push your elbow out to the right. Exhale, relax and maybe let it go in further. I'm getting a little bit of tingling myself. Let's try one more time. Inhale, push that elbow out against the left hand. And then exhale, let it go in a little further. Slowly relax and just give the shoulder girdle a couple little circles. And then let's do that all over again on the left side. So take your towel, Bring the towel all the way up and in the armpit. Again, all you're doing is just giving something to pivot or fulcrum over to give a bit of a stretch to that ball and socket. Right hand, come out to that left elbow. Once you have that position, sit up nice and tall so you don't end up side bending to the left and faking it. So sit nice and tall, maybe even think about pushing a bit into that left leg. Rotate your arm out a little bit so you can kind of get away from that nerve. Take a deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, pull that elbow into your side. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, pull that elbow into your side. Now let's push and pull as we kind of create suction and create movement inside of our joint. So as you inhale, push your left elbow out into your right hand. And as you exhale, let it go. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale, push the elbow out into the right hand. Exhale, let it go and pull that elbow in. 1 more time. Inhale, push it out. And exhale, pull it in. Beautiful. Relax it down. Again, don't worry if you get a bit of tingling. You've got a big nerve there. Just loosen it up. Give that nerve some space. And then relaxing there. Now, let's go through some active movements so that we can kind of open up our shoulders now that we've massaged our muscles off of our bone and we've kind of gapped or kind of created space in our joints. So just gently sit nice and tall, weight through your feet, hands palm up, thumbs outward. Shoulder blades, pull your shoulder blades back and down for me. Take an inhale and simply let your arms come out. Now give a pinch between those shoulder blades as you get to the end of the inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the arms right back to that neutral position. Let's do 4 more of these. Inhaling, pull the shoulder blades back and down and pinch. Make sure the elbows stay at your side. Exhale, coming back. 3 more times. Inhaling out, elbows at the side, pinch at the end of the inhale, exhale, coming back. 2 more times. Inhaling out, pinch, exhaling back, and 1 more time. Inhaling out and pinch and exhaling back. Very nice, relaxing your arms. Now, oftentimes, if we're dealing with shoulder pain, the last thing we want to do in a yoga class is bring our arm up and grab it and create big pulls. So I want to show you a nice, safe way that you can stretch the muscles of the back and the bottom of the shoulder without having your shoulder in its end range of position. So simply just take your right hand and bring it up and over your head, kind of cupping your hand around your head. Now in this position, your shoulder is less than full range of motion. If you're still feeling any sort of pinching or pain here, then bring your hand to the opposite side. So now your arm is even a little bit lower. Wherever you feel that your shoulder is comfortable, I'm going to put mine right on top. Take the other hand and interlace it so that you don't let that hand move. Now sit up nice and tall, elbows, pull them out to the side, open up through your chest. Take a deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, side bend to the left and feel yourself pulling that right elbow up, but you're not getting that pinch in that shoulder. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, reach the rib cage and that shoulder up a little bit higher. Now, can you slightly rotate backward? And oops, I bet you you'll get that muscle. Take a deep inhale into your right chest. And exhaling out. 1 more time. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Inhaling, bringing your head back to the center, and then exhaling, relaxing the arms down. All right, let's try that on the opposite side. So gently bring the hand up and over. See where is the comfortable position for your shoulder. It may not definitely be in full range of motion, so maybe it's slightly less than full range of motion, slightly less than there, or even less than there. Wherever you pick for today, then take the opposite hand and interlace it so that for you, you don't let your arms move. Now sit nice and tall, weight through your legs, open up your chest, lift those elbows out to the side. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, side bend to the right. Yes, lifting up that elbow towards the ceiling. Now, deep inhale, lift the rib cage and the elbow. And as you exhale, can you side bend a bit further? Boy, that feels good today. Now, with that elbow and the armpit, just to get a bit more pectoralis or chest muscle, can you turn it slightly back? There's that chest muscle. Now, deep inhale into your chest and exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into your chest and exhaling out. Inhale, lift yourself back up, and then exhale, relax your shoulders down. All right, so last thing we're gonna do before we do one little strengthening exercise in sitting before we get to the floor is I want to teach you guys something we do in yoga all the time to kind of set your shoulder blades. But if you've got ball and socket pain, if you've got shoulder pain that's going on, oftentimes you don't want your arms to be all the way up overhead because it hurts, it impinges, or it's inflamed. So I want to show you a way that you can get into a good shoulder blade position without having your arms all the way up overhead. So simply bring your hands into heart center and then take your thumbs and line your thumbs up with your nose or your eyes. So if you can see in this position, my elbows are just below my shoulders. Now start to peel your hands away from one another. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly pull your pinkies to the back of the room. Keep your forearms vertical towards the floor, but your elbows below your shoulders. In this position, take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, gently drop your elbows, keeping your pinkies back. Only go as far as you can go and keep those forearms vertical. Let's go through 4 breaths. Inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, pulling down. Drop your chest if your chest is lifted. Inhale, lifting up, and then exhaling, lowering down. 2 more times. Inhaling and lifting, exhaling and dropping, and inhaling and lifting, and exhaling and dropping. Very nice. Relax your arms down and then grab your towel again. Okay, so take your towel now and fold it lengthwise in half and fold it lengthwise in quarters. Now what we're gonna do is a little strengthening exercise for our shoulder girdles, our shoulder blades. So imagine if you can place your towel right across your thighs or your legs. Bring your hands to heart center, lift it up to the center, peel your fingers apart, bring your arms out. Take an inhale here, exhale the elbows down as far as you can, grab the hands, keep those shoulder blades in that down and back position. Now, hold your towel, palm up, thumbs out, at about the width of your shoulders. So can you look down and see that your wrists and your elbows line up with your shoulders? Keep your shoulder blades back and down. Take an inhale and try to stretch that towel and pull those arms away. And then as you exhale, let go. 4 more times. Inhale, pull that towel away from itself. Exhale, relax. 3 more. Inhale and pull, lengthen that towel even though that towel has no way to lengthen, and then exhale, relax. Inhale and pull, really working on the muscles between the shoulder blades and your rotator cuff. Exhale, relax, or 2 of the muscles of your rotator cuff. Last time, inhale and pull it away, and then exhale and relax. Very nice. Now, we're going to be using our towel when we get to the floor for a head support instead of a block. So what I'd like you to do now is just kind of gently fold your towel up and then take it with you to the floor. We are done with the chair. So slowly bring yourself down away from the chair and take yourself to your mat. We're going to begin in hands and knees. Have your towel so that it's near the head of your mat and you've got your ball that you're choosing to use today. Now, find yourself in hands and knees. Check in that your knees are hip distance apart
Also check in that you cannot see your feet and your ankles on the inside or outside of your knees. And the knees are stacked directly on top of the hips. Walk your hands forward. Index fingers are forward, thumbs spread them inward. Outer three fingers spread them outward. Now, in this position, check in that your spine is slightly in neutral or in tabletop position. And just play with rotating your arms in and out. So as you play, and you can watch me here, as you play with rotating your arms in and out, what you're doing is using those rotation muscles or the rotator cuff muscles of your shoulders to kind of just do some opening or some movement of fluid of your joint. So just play with doing that for a second before we go into some cats and cows. And then what I want you to do is look at your elbow creases and find that neutral position. So if your elbow creases are all the way pointed to the front of your mat, your shoulders are really in full external rotation. If they're turned all the way inward, that's internal rotation. So find that happy medium of those shoulder or those elbow creases kind of pointing slightly inward. All right, let's go through 3 cat-cows here. So inhale, sink your belly and sink your spine, lift your tailbone, shoulder blades back and down and look upward. And then as you exhale, pull the belly up and in, arch the back, tailbone tucks, shoulder blades spread, chin to the chest, gaze to the belly button. Inhale, sink everything down, but lift that tailbone, lengthen through the front of that neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, curl everything under, tuck the tailbone, get that chin to your chest and look into that belly button. One more time. Inhaling and inhaling, inhaling to full cow, and then exhaling and exhaling and exhaling to full cat. Now, slowly start to settle yourself back. Keep your tailbone tucked, but if you've got shoulder pain, just gently walk your hands back so that you're not in an end range shoulder position. Gently drop your head down onto your mat, settling your head towards the floor. Elbows are relaxed, settling your sit bones towards your heels, maybe even checking in your tongue position. Maybe even just closing your eyes for a moment. Take a deep inhale into your belly to stretch your low back. And then exhaling out. Nice deep inhale in. And then exhaling out. Slowly coming back up and bringing yourself down onto your mat. Now, grab your ball. We're going to be working on using the ball in 2 different positions here. We're going to use the ball to kind of stretch out or play with these muscles of the front of our chest. So if we have a painful shoulder, sometimes we start to hold it like a broken wing. Right? And think about what you do when you have a sling on, okay? And these muscles get really tight, and these muscles get really tight, but these muscles get really weak. And so what we're going to do today is use a ball to work on stretching or mobilizing these muscles, stretching and mobilizing these muscles, and then we'll work on strengthening those little weak muscles afterwards. So find your ball. We're going to be starting on our belly. I'm going to do my right arm first so that you can see exactly where the ball needs to be. If you need any sort of support for your low back, feel free to grab a pillow or a bolster or something so that you're not in end range back or lumbar extension. Take your ball, and what I want you to do is think where the front of your armpit is and roll the ball in 2 to 3 inches. Once you've rolled the ball in 2 to 3 inches, you can see my ball. Place your ball on that muscle. Then gently start to bring your arm up until you feel that there is weight pushing the ball down. So for some of you, you might have your arm down here. Most of you, your arm will be somewhere level with your shoulder. Those of you that have very flexible shoulders, you might be a little bit more up here. But find that point where you feel the tension load onto the ball. Then take your left hand, place your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Slowly let your head relax as you turn to the left. Take an inhale and push yourself up and on that ball. You may even need to wiggle around a little bit to find that perfect, not so perfect spot. Maintain yourself in that little bit of a rotation to the left with all of the weight on that ball. Now, take a deep inhale into the chest, into that ball. Ouch. And then as you exhale, relax, relax, relax. Let's do 2 more breaths. Deep inhale into that ball. And exhaling. And deep inhale into the ball. And exhaling. And slowly derotating your head, dropping your chest, and relaxing your left arm, and taking the ball out of the way. Now, doing everything exactly the same, but on the left side. So kind of turn, find the front of your left armpit, roll the ball in 2 to 3 inches, rest the ball down onto the yoga mat. Then slowly start to bring your hand up until you find the point where you feel the weight of your chest or your arm fall into the ball. Mine is right at about 90 degrees. Again, if you've got a very tight shoulder, it might be lower. If you've got more flexibility, it might be higher. So find that point for you. And take your right hand, bring it up and underneath the right shoulder. Gently turn your head to the right so that we're not stressing the neck. And as you inhale, lift that body up and onto that ball. Yes. Now, 3 deep inhales and exhales into that chest. Give me a deep inhale in. And exhale. Inhaling in. Chest inhale so you feel it push right into the ball, and then exhaling. And inhaling in. And exhaling. Beautiful. Slowly bring your body back down. De-rotate your head. Take that horrible ball away from that pectoralis muscle. All right. Now, I am going to bring myself up just to change positions. What I want you to do is to take the ball that you had on your left side and bring it onto your right side. Once you have it on your right, or have it in your left hand, my apologies, but roll onto your right side. Now, if your head needs support, that's what your towel is for. You can rest your head down onto the towel, okay? So in this position, what I want you to do is now find the back of the armpit. So roll the ball back to the back of the armpit. Once you've found that you're on the back of the armpit, ladies and gentlemen, have your knees stacked in line with your hips and your feet lining up with the knees. Once you found that spot, I want you to do the same thing you did for the pectoralis muscle. Gently bring your arm up until, you find that point where the tension of the weight of the body pushes down onto the towel. Rest your head down if you want to. Easier and sometimes better is just to take your head and hold it with the left or the opposite hand. Now, in this position, what I want you to do is keep that ball on that tender spot and take a deep inhale in and exhaling out. Inhaling in, exhaling out. One more time, I know you have it in you. Inhale into that ball and exhale out. Just simply roll off the ball, take that ball out of your way and lay yourself down onto your right side. Now, if your towel is not enough in its little fold, then you can fold it again if you feel like you need that support for your head. Completely up to you. If you've got a neck that does not bother you, then you can let your head side bend down. If you need more support, yoga blocks work fabulous for side lying. In this position, take your right shoulder and pull your right shoulder underneath you. Stack your left shoulder on top of your right shoulder. Check in that you haven't lost alignment through your lower body. Now that you're there, take your right hand and bring your arm so that your hand is facing your face and your elbow lines up perfectly with your shoulder. Then turn your palm so that your palm is now facing towards your knees. Take your left hand and gently place the left hand up and over the top of the right. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, slowly let the fingertips come downward towards the floor. Now make sure that your elbow doesn't slide downward. It's a nice little trick your shoulder likes to do when it's tight, back and down there like we discussed. And just find that point where you feel tension, but not pain in your shoulder. Once you're there, gently holding the left hand above the wrist. So don't hold onto the hand, but hold above the wrist onto the forearm. Let's all do this together. So as you inhale, attempt to push your right arm up into your left hand. And then as you exhale, relax it and see if you can get any closer to that floor. 2 more times. Inhale, push that arm up into that left hand. And then as you exhale, can you go down any further? And 1 more time. Inhale, push that arm up into that left hand, and exhale, can you go down any further? Take a nice deep belly breath there. And out. Slowly relax the arm, and then allow yourself to roll yourself over onto your left side. As you roll yourself onto your left side, take your ball with you and place it into your right hand. Going right through what we did first with that muscle mobilization underneath you. So remember, you're trying to place the ball to the back of the armpit. Once you have the ball to the back of the armpit, start to bring your body weight down onto the ball. After you bring your body weight down onto the ball, make sure that your knees and your hips are stacked, and so are your shins and your ankle. Gently start to bring that arm up until you found it. The head, you can either rest on a towel or you can hold your head with your opposite arm. Now, breathe into that. How much we want to get off that, I know, but take a deep inhale into that ball. And exhaling out. Deep inhale inward. And exhale. And inhaling in. And exhaling out. Slowly rotate yourself off of the ball and take the ball. You are done with it. Let it go away. Take your towel or your block, whatever you're using, support your head in this left side position and make sure that your left shoulder is underneath you. Now place your arms so that it's at shoulder height. Stack your knees, stack your hips, stack your ankles. And then in this position, make sure your right shoulder is sitting right on top of your left shoulder. Bend your left elbow up. Now, fingertips or palm is initially facing your face, and then just pronate your wrist or turn your wrist downwards so that your palm is facing downwards towards your knees. Right hand, bring it up and over so that you're holding that left forearm, not the wrist or the hand. Take a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, start to bring that left palm downward towards the floor, fingertips towards the knees. Again, Cheater is pretty easy for that elbow to start dropping downward. Keep that elbow up at that shoulder height as you bring your hand down. Keep the shoulders stacked one on top of the other. Now let's go through that gentle push and pull. No pain here, just tension into the back of that left shoulder. If you're in pain, ease up a little bit. Now take a deep inhale and push the left arm up into the right hand. And then as you exhale, see if you can relax and go a little further. 2 more breaths. Inhaling, pushing that arm up into the hand. Exhaling, can you drop that arm down closer to the mat? Last time, inhale, push that left arm up into the right hand, and exhaling, relaxing it down. Now take a nice, slow, deep belly breath here. Deep inhale. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Slowly lifting the arm up and relaxing the arm here. Now from here, we're just slowly going to roll over onto our back. But before you do that, take your towel again and roll your towel up. So now you're rolling it up so that it is going to make a little tiny kind of semi-circle, I guess, and then allow yourself to roll over on your back. Now, sometimes one of the things that causes shoulder pain is that you've got a lot of stiffness in your upper back. So we're going to do a little movement, I think is the easiest way to say that, of your upper back area. So take your towel that you've got rolled up, kind of lift your head up and place the towel in your upper back area. Make sure that you're below your neck area. Once you have that towel into that area, kind of pull your rib cage down, knees are bent. Take your arms and just rest your arms behind your head so that your head is supported. And then in this position, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, just slowly let the weight of your rib cage fall into that towel. So what you're not doing is you're not doing a sit-up over the rolled towel. You're just pushing back into the towel. Holding your head, rib cage is down. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, just push back into that towel. One more time, keep the neck long, chin tucked, support your head. Deep inhaling in. And then as you exhale, just push that rib cage back into that towel. And then slowly relax, roll yourself to the side, take the towel out of the way. You are done with your towel. And let's move on to doing a bit of strengthening for these shoulders. Now, in this position, let's just take a moment to open up a tiny amount through our hips. So make sure that your neck is nice and long, shoulder blades are underneath you. Take your right knee to your chest, take your arms around your shin, nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Left leg, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, just gently let that leg come down. Nice deep inhale in, exhale, pull that right knee into your chest. One more time, nice deep inhale in, and then exhale, pull that right knee into your chest. Inhale, slide the left leg up, exhale, relax the right foot to the floor. Taking the left knee to the chest, and hands around that shin bone. Take a deep inhale here, exhale, pull the knee to the chest. Right leg, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, slide that leg straight down. Now, nice deep inhale here. Exhale, pull that left knee into the chest. Deep inhale. And exhale, pull that knee into the chest. Inhaling, sliding the right leg back up, and then exhaling, releasing the left foot to the floor. Very good. Now let's get back to these shoulders, shall we? So in this position, what I really want you to do is we're going to kind of play with engaging our shoulder muscles and engaging our shoulder blade muscles in different angulations of our arms, okay? So start with your arms kind of straight down beside you. Have your palms upward and feel as you push your thumbs into the floor, you feel your shoulder blades start to engage. So what I want you to do is rotate your thumbs or your arms, sorry, so that your thumbs push into the floor. Then take a nice deep inhale. And then on your exhale, push your arms and your shoulder blades down, but don't let your chest lift. So keep your rib cage down towards the mat. Nice deep inhale in. Exhale, push the thumbs into the floor, push the arms downward. Feel those muscles of the shoulder blades engaging. Rib cage stays down. Can you make sure you're lengthening your neck and settling your chin? One more breath, inhaling in, exhaling, pushing the thumbs down, shoulder blades back and down, and then relax. Very nice. Now slowly slide your arms up so that they're about shoulder height. And play with that same thing here. So lengthen your neck, settle your chin, relax your rib cage. As you rotate your arm and feel your thumbs push into the floor, can you feel any sort of contraction through the back of your shoulder or through your shoulder blades? Hopefully you can. So in this position, take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, push the thumb into the floor, straighten the elbows, push the arms back as you feel those shoulder blades pinch, but don't lift your chest up. So keep your rib cage down so that this is all about the back of the shoulder and the shoulder blade muscles. Deep inhale in, exhale, keep pushing those thumbs to the floor, straightening those elbows and pushing those arms into the floor. One more time. Deep inhaling in, exhaling, pushing the thumbs into the floor, pushing the arms into the floor with the elbows straight, and then relaxing. Final position. We're not going to bring our arms up overhead because if you do have any sort of inflammation, pain, or impingement in either shoulder, it could kind of make that a little irritable. But let's go back to that position we did in sitting. So take a moment to take your hands to the center of your heart. Thumbs kind of touch your sternum bone. And then just gently bring your arms up until you get to the point that your thumbs touch your nose or maybe the crown of your forehead. So whichever works for you. Crown of your forehead, chances are your elbows are at shoulder height. Touching the nose, your elbows are going to be a little bit lower then. And then in that position, slowly start to take the pinkies and turn the pinkies out as you gently let your arms come down to the floor. Now, in this position, can you check in that your elbows didn't straighten? So can you get your arms in a position that your arms run parallel with the sides of your mat? Pinkies are downward towards the floor. Chest is not lifted, so drop the chest down, keep the abdominals engaged, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Now with your pinkies, just start to push the pinkies into the mat. As you do that, once again, you will feel muscles engage in your shoulder blades. Take an inhale, and then on the exhale, push your arms into the floor as you open your chest here. And then exhale and relax. Inhaling, exhaling, pushing pinkies down, pushing the arms into the floor, feeling those back muscles engage. And then relaxing. Taking a deep inhale, and then on the exhale, pushing those pinkies into the floor, pushing those elbows and arms down, and then relaxing. Very nice. Slowly bringing your arms all the way down. Taking your hands up. We're doing one last little shoulder stretch here. So I'm going to give you two options, and you can kind of pick whichever one suits you better. So option number one, take your right hand underneath your left hand. And then slowly slide your forearms until your elbows kind of meet one another, kind of like you're giving yourself a hug. You can hold yourself in that position, and that is option number one. Now, if you are comfortable here, stay right here. For those of you that want to attempt eagle arms, bring your arms back up to the point that your elbows crossed, and then see if you can clasp hand to hand as you do that. So regardless of which position you're in, if you're in the first position, hug yourself nice and tight. If you're in this second position, pull your elbows towards the ceiling. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, stretch between those shoulder blades. Deep inhaling in, exhaling between those shoulder blades, and then slowly letting go. All right, let's try it again on the opposite side. So bringing your arms up, this time the left hand is underneath the right arm. Slowly crossing the forearms until the elbows meet, and then just giving yourself a nice good hug. Option number one here. Option number two, if you want to do eagle arms. Bringing your elbows straight again until you get to the point that the elbows are crossed, and then taking the hands and interlacing the forearms to get the palms towards one another. Regardless of which position you're in, starting to pull the elbows forward as you feel that stretch. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take that deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, stretch those elbows forward as you hug or pull those elbows up. One more time, nice deep inhaling in, exhaling, pulling those elbows away, feeling that stretch between those shoulder blades, and then slowly relaxing the arms down. Taking the arms out to the side, maybe pulling the shoulder blades underneath you for a minute, playing with some movement of your arms, but taking your arms up all the way to that T formation. Now, I do permit full lifting of the chest this time. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the best breath you can take into this area. So I like to call it a Popeye breath. So it's kind of like you're puffing your chest up. So when you puff your chest, your rib cage is going to lift as well. But let's do one final opening for these muscles of the front of our chest. So option is to start with T formation of your arms. If you are not having any pain in your shoulder, you may even want to take your arms a slight amount higher, completely up to you. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, make sure your knees are about hip distance, feet are relaxed on the floor. Take a deep inhale into that chest and lift that chest, feeling a stretch through those muscles of your chest. And then exhaling out. 2 more times. Deep inhale into the chest. And then exhaling out. 1 more time. Nice deep inhale into that chest. And then exhaling and exhaling and exhaling and exhaling that air out. Beautiful. Slowly taking your right knee to your chest and taking your left knee to your chest, hugging your knees into your chest, allowing yourself to use your biceps and maybe even pull your rib cage up, lengthening your neck and maybe even bringing your chin towards your knees for a nice nervous system stretch. Take a deep inhale here and exhale. 1 more time, nice deep inhale in and exhale. Let the rib cage come down. Let the neck stay long. Finally, the head hits the floor. Slowly dropping 1 foot to the mat, followed by the other. Settling your pelvis to the center of your mat, and then taking one leg followed by the other leg down to the corners of your mat. Once you've found that position, check in with the shoulder blades for a minute and roll the shoulder blades back and down. Relax the rib cage. Gently let the arms rest out to the side of your body. Now, start to relax your ankles, your knees, check in that your butt is not engaged. So maybe give your buttocks a little squeeze and then let it go completely. Make sure you've got no tension in your low back. Today was not about your low back. So as you straightened your leg, if you're feeling any tension in your low back right now, bring your knees back in, squeeze your knees to your chest, tighten your abdominals, and keep your abdominals tight as you lower your legs back out. Oftentimes, if we've got too much extension in our back, immediately straightening our legs because we did not focus on our hip flexors can cause some tension in your back. I don't want you to have any tension in your back. Get those shoulder blades resting. Now, what I want you to do today is I want you to find that point with your arms where you just feel the elbows on the mat, and you find that point where the elbows fall off your mat. That's where I want you to rest your arms today. Can you play with that for me and see, where do my elbows come off my mat? And then rest your arms. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. And then before we start to work on stillness here, play with your knuckles. Can you feel your pinky, your ring knuckle, your middle knuckle, your index knuckle, and your thumb? And your index knuckle, and your middle knuckle, and your ring knuckle, and your pinky? Can you feel all of those joints touching as you do that gentle rotation through your arm? See if today you can find that index and that middle knuckle. So the thumb is gently soft, the ring and the pinky knuckles are gently soft, but you feel the weight through the middle knuckle and the index knuckle. And then let your arms relax. That may feel weird for one of your arms, but allow yourself to focus on those two knuckles touching the floor. As you do that, check back in that your neck is long and your chin is gently settled. Your tongue is resting on the roof of your mouth and your eyes are gently relaxed. Now start to take a nice, slow, deep inhale into your chest. A deeper inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale, just gently let your chest relax and your belly relax. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale into your chest. And continue inhaling into your belly. And then just slowly let them both relax. Inhale into your chest. Inhale into your belly. And slowly let them both relax. Now let's reverse that order. So can you inhale into your belly? Now keep inhaling into your chest. Now slowly let them both relax. 2 more times. Inhale into your belly. And inhale into your chest. Now slowly let them both relax. Last time. Inhale into your belly. Inhale into your chest. Now slowly let them both relax. Allow your body to be still. But in order to not let your mind wander, take your attention to both of your shoulders. Without doing any movement, can you be aware of your body
And feel exactly where your shoulder blades let go of the mat and your shoulder is free from the mat. Then go down to your arms and feel where your arms are touching the mat and then where your arms begin to let go of the mat. And then for these last few seconds in your mind's eye, just imagine those shoulder joints resetting their position as the ball of those shoulder joints slowly falls backwards towards the floor. Now slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and gently begin to do circles with your wrists and your ankles. And then when you're ready, bend your elbows and bend your knees. And slowly let yourself roll to your side. Rest there just for a breath. Nice deep inhale and nice deep exhale. And then when you're ready, using the top hand to push, followed by the bottom hand to push. Finding yourself in a nice seated position. Tailor pose or gentle crisscross of your legs, hands to your heart. Boy, I hope your shoulders feel good today. Take a nice deep inhale in and exhale out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you.